All right, let's talk about AI. We've all gotten pretty used to the chat box, right? It's easy, it's direct, but honestly, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're going to look at something way more powerful for getting real work done, moving way beyond that simple chat interface and into the world of what we call agentic workflows.
This quote right here, it really nails it. The chat box is great for a quick question, but for any kind of complex, repeatable task, it's actually a huge bottleneck. It's time to see what happens when we let AI agents do the heavy lifting for us, from start to finish.
Okay, let's really dig into this. You know, chat is everywhere. It's the AI interface we all know, but it was never really designed for the kind of complex, file-based work that so many of us have to do every single day.
And this really shows the huge difference in approach. On the one side, you've got the standard chat interface. It's this constant, manual back and forth. You ask, it answers, you copy, you paste. It's tedious. On the other hand, an agentic workflow, that's automated. It's fire and forget. It handles the entire process without you having to be in the loop.
So, the big question is, how do we actually do this? Well, we're going to talk about a new idea called agentic drop zones. And the concept is, believe it or not, incredibly simple but so powerful. You automate work just by dropping a file into a folder. That's it.
So here's the core idea. Just think of a drop zone as a smart folder, or kind of like email rules on steroids. You set up a folder for a specific task, and whenever you drop a file in there, bam, a specialized AI agent wakes up and instantly gets to work running a whole workflow you've already defined for it.
And the process itself? It's so logical. It all starts the second you drop a file. A little watcher service sees it, and it immediately knows which prompt to load up for that specific job. From there, the AI agent just takes over, executes the whole workflow, and the final output gets generated and saved. It's clean, it's hands-off, it's completely automated.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds cool, but it must be a nightmare to set up, right? Actually, no. This entire powerful system is controlled by one single, surprisingly simple configuration file. This is it, a single file called drops YAML. And if you've never seen it, YAML is just a really simple, easy-to-read format. This one file is like the command center for everything. It's where you define all your automated workflows. It makes the whole system so easy to manage and grow.
So when you look inside that file, each drop zone is basically defined by just a few key things. You give it a name, you tell it what kind of files to look for, like maybe .txt files or .csv files. Then you tell it which prompt to use, and finally, you pick the specific agent and model you want to run the job. And that's it. That's all it takes to spin up a brand new automated workflow.
Now, the prompts themselves are really structured, and that's the key to making them reliable. They're broken down into three parts: a super clear purpose, so the agent knows exactly what the end goal is, variables, like the path to the file you just dropped in, and a detailed step-by-step workflow. See, this isn't a vague conversation with a chatbot. This is a precise blueprint, a set of instructions for the agent to follow perfectly every single time.
All right, enough of the technical stuff. That's the how. Now, let's get to the wow. Let's look at a few real-world examples to see just how incredibly powerful these automated workflows can be.
Okay, imagine this. It's the end of the month and you've got a CSV file with all of your expenses. Instead of opening up a spreadsheet and manually crunching all those numbers, you just drop that one file into your finances drop zone.
And this is what you get back a few moments later. The agent automatically read the entire CSV, it categorized every single transaction, and it generated this beautiful, clean visual summary. And in this example data, you can see a pretty hefty $55,000 spent on AI services. The agent did all of that analysis completely in the background. You didn't have to do a thing.
Here's one for all you developers out there. Let's say you've got a small sample of training data, and you just need more of it. We all know this is usually such a tedious manual process. But with an agentic workflow, you just drop in your little sample file, and this is what you get back: a much, much bigger data set. The agent literally analyzed the context and the style of the first few rows and then intelligently generated 25 new similar examples. This is a perfect way to automate that boring process of scaling up your training data.
But it's not just for data and text. What about generating a whole gallery of images? In this example, an agent was given the job of creating an entire set of unique images based on one simple input file. So, how did a complex job like this even get started? You'd think it was some complicated script, right? The answer is so much simpler. The input was just a single text file,
And inside that file, 10 one-line descriptions of different cats. That's it. The agent read each line one by one and generated a unique image for each prompt, completing the entire job from end to end.
What we're seeing here is so much more than just a cool new tool. This really represents a fundamental shift in how we should be thinking about interacting with AI, moving away from being conversational partners and towards becoming programmatic directors of these autonomous agents.
So let's just recap the big takeaways here. First, this lets us automate all that repetitive work that eats up our time. Second, we can finally start to get the human out of the loop for these routine tasks. Third, we're reusing the oldest, most familiar interface there is, the file system. And finally, this is what enables true agent autonomy.
This quote captures the paradigm shift perfectly. The focus is moving away from the underlying language model itself and towards the autonomous agents we can build on top of them. You know, the model is the engine, sure, but the agent is the car that actually gets you where you need to go.
And that brings us to a really critical realization. The AI models, they're powerful enough. The bottleneck isn't the technology anymore. It's our ability to build systems that actually use it effectively. The advantage is going to go to the people who learn how to build and orchestrate these agents.
And if you remember one thing, make it this. Agentic workflows are absolute magic for tasks you have to do repeatedly. It's all about figuring out the solution to a recurring problem once, encoding it, and then letting automation take over forever. That is how you build a massive, cumulative advantage over time.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. The technology is here. The agents are ready to clock in. The only question left is, what repetitive, annoying work in your own life are you going to teach them to do for you first?